Okay. Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. Is Tuesday a happy day? I don't know. Jury's out. Gonna figure this out. All right, let me just get everything set up here so hopefully it's not crooked. I always appreciate your patience at the very beginning when I'm just trying to make sure things look pretty okay. I'm gonna turn it a little bit this way, so there we go. Excellent. All right. Let me come around and say hello. Happy Tuesday, friends. I wish I was saying happy Thursday, because then we would have one more day and it'd be the weekend. But alas, it is Tuesday. However, wait a second. It is Tuesday. Oh, shoot. Wait a second here. Did I just mess up my days? Oh my goodness gracious. No, it's Wednesday. Oh, dear Lord. Okay. Just checking things here. Oh, I had to start. Let me just see. Yes, it is Wednesday. Oh my gosh. So I got to explain. The reason I was thinking it was Tuesday was I was talking to someone I work with on the way out, and I said tomorrow's hump day, and today's hump day. Or maybe I said it was today. Anywho, as you can see, I'm confused, and I will have to tell you I do teach. But apparently when I come home, I leave all my smartness back at the school building because I just had brain fog as to what day it was, and it was because of this conversation, but I digress. If you're here to see a live stream, you're in the right place. I'm Philly. Welcome to my kitchen. I promise you I won't be talking about what day it is the whole time, but I did want to let you know it is not Tuesday. I cannot believe I said that. That might have been one of the biggest oopsies I've done besides some of the cooking oopsies. Anywho, let me get you all going. So I know I got myself going, and now I'm all verklempt, as they would say. So let me get everything up here. There we go. Excellent. Okay. Gosh. So I should say it's good that it's later than I thought. Hi, Pat. Hi, Barb. Have you ever forgotten what day it is? Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah, totally crazy. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me move this like this. So if you are here to see a live stream about cooking, you're in the right place. Today, I'm really excited. Those of you who follow me know that I like a variety of different foods from different cuisines. And today I'm going to be focusing on a take on a Korean style cuisine. So I feel like moving to the city really, I don't know, it just opened up so much to both Hubs and I as far as to the different foods we were experiencing and trying, and oh my goodness, I just, certainly when I was in the suburbs, I did not realize that there were as many different varieties as when, because we just didn't have them around. So living in the city, I will say that really expands things for us. And Philly is so a foodie town because there's so many different cuisines, so many different types of food from different countries, and I really think that's one of my favorite things about it here. So today we're looking at a Korean style dish, but there's nothing really Korean about it except for some of the flavors. I don't know if Korea has hamburgers. Like, I mean, they might have American hamburgers, but I don't know if they have something called a Korean style hamburger. But that is what we're aiming for. And we're gonna be switching out some different ingredients. But what I was hoping to do is kind of, I don't know, just bring in some of the things that make a Korean barbecue enjoyable and bring it into a burger, because I thought that might be something more approachable for you at home, depending upon what your experience is. And I also am going to be actually making one of the sauces we're going to use. I'm going to make it homemade, although you could buy it on Amazon, and maybe if you have an Asian market near you, you might find it there too. But I'm actually going to make a homemade version, realizing that it might be easier for some people getting this one ingredient than others. So again, just trying to make this more approachable. So everything that's down below, I will double check, because I'm saying that I'm trying to make sure if I needed to adjust anything I put, I will check after the live stream later this evening and double check, but everything's below. There is a link to the condiment that we're gonna be using, that we're gonna make. And so as many of you know, a lot of times I really try to put the links in as opposed to listing the ingredients, so that that content creator not only gets the recognition, but also gets the quote ping on their website. So I think that matters when you're a content creator, when you have your own website. So I try to do that to encourage other creators out there. So let's dig in. But first, Pat and Barb, what are y'all having for dinner? I'm just curious. I'd love to know what you're having for dinner tonight, and I hope you're all doing well. It is really gross and rainy. I'm just looking outside my windows. It is probably the ugliest it's been all day. So we're getting a little wetness here. Nothing major, but just there's some stuff that's been going kind of through our systems down here in this area. And right now it is definitely drizzling and light raining a bit. So it's not very attractive outside. But the first thing I'm gonna do, by the way, is I'm gonna dig in and make the burgers. And I'm not using beef. You could use beef. You absolutely could. You could decide to use pork. I would use a lean pork because otherwise it could be really fatty. So just kind of, talk with your butcher or whatever on what would be best for the burger. And but I'm going to use turkey. So you also could use chicken. So it's all about, with Korean barbecue, there's a variety of different things that they would barbecue. So for me, I'm going to do turkey, but you could switch out something else if you prefer. So I do eat beef. I eat actually all those things, but what we eat most is poultry and fish. So this is a weeknight meal for me, so I'm going to keep it along those lines, but certainly you could swap that out. So we're going to get started right away. And I am going to dump, this is 10 ounces of ground turkey, and I think it's like 92% fat. It's good with your poultry to not have fat-free or the very little fat, because I find it gets really dry when you do that. So I put that in here, and this is so easy. Now, if you do not have this, which actually is Japanese, so I'm really breaking rules. That's why I said Korean style. I'm not trying to say this is authentic or anything, but I just realized I forgot to put my shoes on. Oh well, barefoot it is. But this is something that I bought, I don't know, I think last month, and I really like it. Let me show it to you up close. It's called the Original Japanese Barbecue Sauce. And I've been seeing it a while in a couple of stores around us. So it's not just in one place. It's in a regular grocery store. It's in some markets. And it isn't cheap. However, you can see I bought it over a month ago, and we still have definitely a little over half of it left. So, I guess if you used it every day, it'd go quick. But what I love about it is a couple things. One is that it's a go-to sauce for marinating anything. It's also a go-to sauce for dipping anything. And it's also a go-to sauce for just flavoring things. So let me tell you what's inside here. And here is soy, mirin, ginger, garlic, and green onion. So it just kind of has all of those common ingredients that are in a lot of Asian cooking. And so that's what we're going to use to flavor our ground turkey. So if you do not have this, then I would just say my best advice to you would be to, again, if you could just Google up what the ingredients are, and maybe I'll try to remember to put this below too, and just create a little sauce just to give some flavor to the turkey. That's what I like about poultry, because I feel like there's a lot of different flavors you can give it. So I'm just going to put a tablespoon in here. Again, I'm just wanting to flavor it. And then what I like to do is break it up with my fork before I make the burgers by hand. I'm going to move this out of the way because I'll be using it. I don't want to get any turkey on it. So, oh, it smells so good. I mean, this sauce, I'm telling you, it just smells amazing. Now, I would say a tablespoon for a half a pound, but again, I like 10 ounces. I'm just going to give a squirt more. I like 10 ounces because it just makes a nicer sized burger. So you could make this as quarter pound for sure, but I think 5 ounces, just an extra ounce, just, I don't know, it's meaningful. It sounds crazy. So now I've got it together, and I'm going to form it into 2 burgers, and then I'm going to put this into the refrigerator, stay chilled until we're ready to cook it. This is going to all come together pretty quick. All we're going to do is make the sauce and make sure what we're going to be putting on our burger is all set to go, and then we're going to get those cooked. In fact, I probably will even start to cook it. I just want to get the sauce made, and then I'll start cooking them and get anything else we need ready. So I'm making these 2 burgers. I think one of them's a little bit more than the other. It's a little sticky, and that's why I want to put it in the fridge, because since it's a little sticky, I'm just getting some of this leftover meat. And you could always make sure they're exactly the same, but they're fine. Now, Hubs will not be joining us. He has something after work, so I do not expect him home. So if he does get home, that'll be a surprise and a joy. But I do not expect him tonight. So it'll just be us. It'll just be us. Alrighty. And I'm gonna go check my stuff because sometimes I think it's going below me. So Barb and Pat, and it might be that you guys are just feeling a little quiet today, but I also feel like when I'm looking at it from my viewpoint, sometimes the chat starts going below and it used to always go above. So let me just take a peek here. Let me see, because I think I'm missing stuff. No, okay, we're just a little quiet. No worries, no worries. So hope you all are well. Okay, good. By the way, if you are watching for the first time, you can just say hello. You don't have to say anything at all. You can just watch from afar. But we do love chit-chatting and seeing how everyone's doing. So feel free to do that if you feel so inclined. And if you know of someone else that you think would like this kind of content, please make sure to like and share and subscribe if you're not already subscribed so you don't miss anything. Oops, something just happened here. Let me see. There we go. Okay, excellent. So we've made our burgers. Let me show them to you. Again, super simple. I mean, how easy could that be? So one of the things I just love about this is just the ease and the application you can use for so many things. So highly recommend it. I think by me, it ranges anywhere from $8.99 to $11. So it just depends. I like to buy it when it's on sale at the Giant, my local Giant. They have it for sale every once in a while, so I just get it at that point. So these are going to go in the fridge. If they were going to go in for a long time, I would wrap them, but they're just going to go in for a few minutes. So I'm just going to put them right in the fridge to stay chilled. And we're going to work on the sauce. So let's bring over our ingredients. So one of the sauces that's a hallmark for, and I'm not sure if I'm going to say it right. In fact, I just realized I was supposed to look up the pronunciation and I forgot. But one of the sauces that's a hallmark of going along with Korean barbecue is something called samjang. I hope I'm saying it correctly. If not, my apologies. And it involves a variety of different ingredients, nothing too crazy. The craziest, if you're not used to doing Asian cooking, might be the gochujang. But I know a lot of stores are carrying it now. It might not look like this. It might look more like a ketchup bottle, but it might say gochujang. I've seen it in a bunch of different iterations. The ones by you will definitely be, if you're in the US, they'll be in English, but this we have an Asian market nearby, so in Chinatown, so that I got from there, so that is actually not in English, but you can see it's traditionally a red one, and basically gochujang is just hot pepper paste. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some ingredients ready, and then you could whiz this up in a food processor, a little food processor or blender. I'm actually going to do a chop and a grate for this because I just feel like it's such a small amount. You know, I have trouble with my little mini food processor and I'm worried it's not going to be enough stuff to really equally grind through everything. So because of that, I'm going to actually be doing this by hand. So again, you could whiz it up there. If you did, I'd recommend making her full recipe. But since I'm actually using this just for our burgers tonight, I halved the recipe. So because of that, I'm just worried there's just not enough stuff to really warrant putting in my blender or my food processor. I'm worried it's just not going to work. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chop some onions, and we're going to be saving the green onions for garnish on our burger. We're going to chop, I'm going to grate a little bit of apple because I really want to chop that fine. And we're also going to be chopping up a little bit of walnut. So let me go get that now because I just realized that was one thing I forgot to get out. So I'm going to get a little bit of walnuts out. Now, I don't know about you, but if I have extra nuts, what I like to do is I keep them in the freezer because when you keep them in the freezer, they stay fresher longer. So, you know, because if you don't keep them in the freezer, by the way, and you have them in your pantry and you don't use them right away, they will get stale. And when they get stale, oh, these are not walnuts. Now you could use pecans, but I was wanting to use walnuts and now I'm hoping I have walnuts. So let me just see. You could use any nut, but they say pecans would be what they would recommend. Let me just take a quick peek in here. It would be me and not to, oh my goodness. All right. So, okay, I do not see walnuts. Pecans it is. Let me do one more check in my other pantry because sometimes I get little bags that I can use. But, yep, nope. Oh, I do have some almond slices. Okay, so we are going to use pecans. We're going to try something. So it does say walnuts, but you get what you get and you don't get upset. So I'm just going to, this is going to be plenty. I'm just going to get enough to have 1 tablespoon of walnuts. And that's probably more than I even need. I'm going to put these back in the freezer. I'm just giggling because, you know, it's funny. I prep for this. I try to make sure I have all my ingredients. And when I went into the freezer, I kept seeing that bag. I thought, yep, I got them. And I didn't look carefully. And Hubs would tell you that is exactly on brand for me. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually I'm just going to get these chopped up. Now, you could also, in fact, maybe I should do that. You could also crush them. In fact, I am going to crush them. You know why? Because since I'm not going to use a food processor, I actually want them to get a little more broken down. So I'm going to actually crush them in a bag with a mallet. And that way it'll break them down even further. So there we go. Plus it's more fun. You can get any of your aggressions out. I have a wooden mallet. You could use really the back of a spoon or a knife. So I'm just, okay, let's do it here so it's a little less noisy. There we go. Okay, what's nice about this is it really does get it fine. So yes, I would definitely recommend smushing it. I don't know what I was thinking of chopping it. Okay, smushing it will get it much finer. So let me show you what that looks like when you smush it. Actually, I'll put it in here so you can see. Where is my little, oh, I think it's already in something here. I'll put it here and then I can show you. So Pat says that she is having eggplant halves crisscrossed, roasted with salt and pepper, drizzled with extra virgin olive oil, grape tomatoes sauteed with onion and garlic, and after tender added to the eggplant halves. Ooh, along with parm and fresh mozz. That sounds wonderful. Hey Arch, how are you, my friend? Oh, Pat was just talking about a yummy dinner. Okay, so I was just beating some pecans. So that way you can see it's pretty like fine, you know. A lot easier doing that than using a knife. So we've got our pecans ready. Again, usually I would do walnuts, but alas, I did not have it. And then I'm going to just cut the white part of the scallions or green onions. But I am going to also continue cutting so that I can make sure the green part is set aside for garnish on the burgers. And it's not just to look pretty, it actually brings some nice flavor too. So Arch, we've already put together the burgers and they are in the fridge chilling. And we will get them going as soon as I get this sauce made. This sauce is called samjang, which is a great dipping sauce that is used in Korean barbecue. And second, let me get a little bit more. There we go. I think I have more green onion than I'm going to need. Let me get, or rather the whites part. So let me get this done. 1 second. Get that out of the way. Woo! It's a little bit spicy, not going to lie. Okay. There we go. Definitely a little spicy. Okay, there we go. There's our green onion for garnish. Let me take this. And then, oh, that is bright. Okay, so now I'm just going to do this. I'm going to chop this more because, again, since we're not using the food processor, I want to break this down a lot more. Move this out of the way. My big mallet. You know, the one thing I love about cooking is sometimes you can take your frustrations out by using the tools you have, right? There we go. So I'm getting this down pretty fine, and all you have to do is just run your knife. Keep running your knife through it to get it really fine. So, and by the way, I'm I will have to clarify, I'm not avoiding using my little mini food processor because of cleaning it up since Hubs isn't here. You know, I'm not being a little wuss with that. I just really don't think it'll be enough volume in there to really get it to whiz up the way we want to. Okay, so here's that ingredient. So I've got my chopped up green onion right there. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to grate some apple. So here's, this is just do what you have, right? They didn't specify what kind of apple. I happen to have a Honeycrisp on hand. So, and all we're going to need is about 5 grams. So, and we need about 5 grams in onion. So let me see what I've got here. Just a second. Just put this here. So I'm going to check this out. And then you can see what it looks like. Okay, so for, I'll just put it on here. So that, let's see if we got 5 grams. Oh, wrong one. Okay, there we go. There we go. Just need to, so let's see how much we have. Oh, yeah, there's a lot more than 5 grams. Okay, so let's take some of these out. 9, 7. There we go, 6. We're going to stick with 6, okay? And then I'm going to add on enough grated apple to make it be 11. Whoopsie, there we go. So let's cut this off. And then you could just try to chop this down as well. But what I'm going to do is actually grate it, because I think grating it will make it a little bit easier. And I am going to avoid the peel. So what I'm going to do is take this off. There we go. Okay. And leave the peel on the grater. Just be careful not to get your fingers. There we go. Okay. And we're looking for 5 grams. Get this. I have a feeling this will be enough. And then if I have a bite of these leftover apple pieces, it'll be apple and onion. That'll be an interesting flavor. Okay, so let's get this back on. And we're looking for 5. So let's see. That says 7. Okay, we're just going to leave 7 in there. 7 and 6. That's what we're doing. So we have some leftover stuff. Let me try it. Oh, not bad. It's a good apple. I love Honeycrisp. What are your favorite kinds of apples? I'm curious about that. So, as you can see, you did not need all the stuff that I had. I'm going to actually put a little bit of that juice there, because that'll help sweeten it up. And the content creator for the samjang was actually talking about, she was saying that she likes hers have a little sweetness. So we're going to be adding some honey to it as well. So you can see the other ingredients we're going to use are garlic, sesame seeds, sesame oil, and of course gochujang. So let's put this together now, and then we can start cooking the burgers, and we can get this show on the road. So we have our ingredients here. Wipe that off, and let's mix it up. Let's see, I'm gonna mix in here. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put in, we need miso too. So miso might not be one you have. Sorry about that, my friends. Miso was one other one. In fact, do I have miso? Oh, shoot. I think I'm losing my mind. All right, I really thought, I know I was looking for miso and I couldn't, no, I know I've got to have miso. This is crazy. Oh, here it is. Oh my gosh. Oh, friends. You too can do a cooking channel. Gosh, I don't know where my brain is half the time. Okay, so we're going to do 2 tablespoons of miso, 1 tablespoon of the gochujang. So 2 of this. There we go. So miso, let me just put this there. Miso is wonderful. In fact, when we went to the store, that's when I got the miso. That's why I'm like, I know I have miso. because I was out of it. And that's one of the reasons I went to the Asian grocery store, because I missed having it. Miso is such a wonderful ingredient, has so much umami. I use it to make absolutely delightful broths. It also can be mixed with mirin and a few other things to make a wonderful marinade for fish. I'm going to be actually doing that next week. I'm getting some salmon tomorrow, but it's a soybean paste. So it's, oh, it just smells amazing. So if you've never had miso, you should try it. You should get some. To get the best price is to see if you have an Asian grocery store nearby, because that will be the cheapest for sure. So in here, we're also going to be putting, rinse off my spatula. We're also going to be putting in 1 tablespoon of gochujang. Now I have my second one here because I wasn't sure if I was going to have quite enough. So let's just see. I'm going to scrape. Okay. Oh, Archie, I'm missing some stuff. Oh, Pat, you are a chef. The thing you cooked sounded absolutely amazing. I think you are a chef in the kitchen. You might not be a chef at a restaurant. I'm not a chef at a restaurant, but you are a chef in the kitchen. You make things that make your family happy. Okay, so let me get my gochujang, make sure I have, yeah, that'll be fine. I'm just gonna get the last remnant. So gochujang will add some heat, but that is something that is quite common in Korean cooking. There is some other things that don't have heat, but they definitely love their heat. We have a great place called Bukchon here in the city. There's so many great places, but one of our favorites is a small little place called Bukchon that has great food. All right, so we have 2 tablespoons of miso, 1 tablespoon of gochujang. We also need 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, and of course I put that away, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. There we go. I'm almost out. I'm just going to put it in. I'm out of my sesame oil. I put that on my grocery list. Need more of that. And then we're going to need a teaspoon of honey and a teaspoon of sesame seeds. There we go. Teaspoon of honey. And I need to check out the chat. And a teaspoon of sesame seeds. And this you can just eyeball. There we go. And then we're also going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic, not too much garlic. There we go. And if you don't have this, you can just, I would grate it with like a microplane, or just chop it super, super fine, or even make a paste. That's what I would do. And then of course we have our onions, our apple, and our walnuts. And our walnuts, we need 1 tablespoon. So I'm gonna, that's probably about, there we go. Okay, so we have everything in there. And then we're going to mix it up. And again, it would be best to do this in a food processor, but since I'm doing half the amount that the recipe calls for, I feel like it is going to be too little bit, and I'm afraid it's just not going to mix well. One of the things that would be nice using a food processor, let me show you how this looks. It smells so good, I can't even tell you, is that it would be nice for the walnuts to be even whizzed up more. They will add a richness to it. And of course, you and I both know we're using pecans here because that's what I had. It wasn't a bag of walnuts, it was a bag of pecans. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm gonna taste it. Oh, that is really good. It's salty. Has that umami. There is some heat. The heat, because it's half the amount of gochujang compared to the miso, it is not that spicy at all. So if you wanted it spicier, you could make it. I do know that samjang comes in mild, and I don't think it comes in hot, but I think mild and medium. This is definitely more of a mild version with just a little bit of heat. So I wouldn't even worry about, if you're worried like it'll be too spicy, this is great. Oh my gosh, so good. Oh, it's a great dipping sauce. And by the way, when you have Korean barbecue, what they do is they'll take the barbecue meat, they'll take either a piece of lettuce or I think it's called padilla leaves, and they'll put some rice, and then they'll put the barbecued meat. Then they'll put samjang first and then the barbecue meat, and then they might add things like pickled daikon or pickled radish or jalapeno, other things on there just to kind of add to the flavors. So that's where I'm taking this to make it into this Korean style barbecue turkey burger. So let me just catch up and then let's get stuff cooking. Well, I like big things here. That is well, I have to tell you, I go through it. You can see it's half empty. I don't know if you can tell there. I go through a lot of sesame seeds. Love me some sesame seeds. I'm gonna get, by the way, my this going so that it'll be nice and hot. And I'm also gonna get out the turkey burgers that we made previously, earlier in the stream. So they're there, ready to go. I also have some high heat oil, and of course, as I've mentioned, this is my favorite new container for the oils because I can spray it and I can pop this open and I can also just pour it. But I'm gonna use, actually, because it's a grill pan, I'm gonna use a spray, and I'm gonna bring you all over once we grill these. But we do have a little bit more to prep while we're waiting for it to heat up. I think I can get rid of this. And that is, I would like to get a little bit of jalapeno that we can put on there too, because I would like a little bit of heat. So you don't have to put jalapeno if you don't care for that, but I would definitely like that. I have my green onion already, so you can see. Got my green onion. I'm gonna get a little jalapeno. I already have my lettuce. There's my lettuce. I don't know if you can see that. Let me move it back just a little bit. So we've got my lettuce, we've got the buns, and these are my favorite milk buns. You don't have to use milk buns, you can get any bun you like, but these are actually sesame seed milk buns. They are one of my favorite buns, made by the Lost Bread Company. I don't know if they should ever be found because their bread is so good. So they just need to keep doing what they're doing. And we're gonna add a little kimchi. Now, not everyone loves kimchi, and again, this is, to be traditional, so this would be also added with when you're talking about the lettuce, some rice, the barbecued meats, the samjang, and some kimchi. Kimchi is, it might take a little bit of getting used to. Like when I first had it, I really wasn't sure what I thought about it. This is a brand new one that I just got from the Asian store because I went through my bottle of kimchi. And so I've never had this brand, so I'm excited to try it. It's fermented, it's actually quite healthy for your gut health. And I'm going to actually chop mine. So I'm going to taste this one. Oh, it's so good. It's a very complex flavor. It might not be everyone's cup of tea. I really like it. I love having it if I make some fried rice. Not fried rice, what's it called? I'm trying to remember what their rice bowls are called. Bibimbap. That's the one. It's traditional with that. So very much like that. So I'm actually going to just first chop that, because I actually want, especially with having it burger style, I want to actually have it chopped so that it won't, like a whole piece won't come out when I have my burger. So that's gonna go on the burger. And the last thing we're gonna do is slice some jalapenos, and then we'll be ready to put it on. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it on, and then I'll bring you over to see the rest of the cooking. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray the tops of my turkey burgers with some avocado oil, and then I'm gonna put those right on the grill. Okay, and I'll bring you over to show you this after I get this jalapeno sliced. Wash my hands, and then we're gonna be ready to go. It's just a matter of our burgers cooking. What I like to do when I'm cooking turkey or chicken burgers, by the way, is I like to, I'm gonna get my avocado oil on it, so it's ready to go, is I like to get it seared on a high heat, and then I like to turn it down. So, and let it cook covered, or partially, not all the way covered, but partially covered. That's what I like to do, that helps assure juicy burgers, and we want to have good color on the outside, but not too overdone on the inside. They need to be done completely. Don't get me wrong. We don't want any raw turkey in there, but I don't want it to be dry. And part of the reason it's not going to be dry is because of the fact that we didn't get fat-free poultry meat, because that would make it dry. So I'm just slicing, and if you don't want the seeds, they will make it a little spicier, so you can pop those out. The seeds are where the spices and your hot peppers. So we are good there. And again, any of this you can leave right out. If you don't like kimchi, leave kimchi off. If you don't like jalapenos, the spice, leave it off. It's all good. All right, so we are good to go. Let's go take a look at our burgers and see how they're doing. Let me show you. Okay, let me turn this down. There we go. Okay. Let me get So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to actually flip it again, because again, I want to get the color, and then I'm going to let it cook more slowly. So see there, got some nice color there. And I had also put some, avocado oil on there. So look at that, like that's very nice. Let me bring you a little close so you can see it. This is city cooking. I do not have an outside space, so if you do, you could have a barbecue grill for sure. I do not. This is the best I can do. This is what we do. We do what we can, right? And now I am going to move this back a little bit because I want to get a lid from my drawer here. And I do want to pop that over so that it helps, whoopsie, sorry about that, helps dome it. And it just kind of creates a little bit, there we go. So, there we go. It does, like that sound? That is a good sound. So, we had it for 2 minutes on one side. We're going to do it 2 minutes on the other side, and then I'm going to turn it down, and we're going to let it cook for about 6 more minutes, 4 to 6 minutes. I just have to look, and you can use a thermometer if you're not comfortable. I've done these enough that I go by, I know you're not supposed to say this, but I go by feel on when my burgers are done, because these I want to be done. I just don't want them to be like hockey pucks. I want them to be cooked all the way through, but still juicy. So that is our plan. Let me check the, let's see here. Yes, Pat, ground turkey can be dry. It absolutely can be. And Arch, that is a big apple. It is, that's actually a big one. I know. One of my really good friends hates the word moist. And fun fact, I'm not gonna. I like to tease her with the moist comment a lot of times. But yeah. So the moist thing does crack me up. It's never bothered me because there's so many things that you want moist. You want burgers to be moist. You want cake to be moist, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that you want to be moist. And extra jalapenos for Hubs. Oh, we're bringing French in here. Parlez-vous français? I didn't realize you both spoke French. Oh, that's right, Pat. You were telling me. That's right, because your husband is French, right? I think so. And you got a new stove. How exciting. Archie, how is it going in your kitchen? I know you were going to be redoing some things. How's that going? So it's been 2 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm turning down my heat to low. And I'm just going to let it continue to cook. So I'm going to bring you back over. I'm going to flip it one more time. And get it on the other side. Oh, there we go. Got some definite color on that side, and you can see right there. And then I'm going to put that cover back. Let me show you. Put that cover back just to let the heat almost cook it like you would if it was in the oven, right? And I'm going to actually push this a little bit this way just so it stays covered. I turn the heat way down to low. And there we go. So let's head back. All right, there we go. And meanwhile, while we're waiting for those to finish cooking, we're going to get the buns ready. So for the buns, what I'm going to do is let me get my air fryer preheated. I love using my air fryer for a whole host of things. I think it gets buns ready very well. It's a great place to do that. And I have a special little thing I'm going to do because we could put olive oil on it. We could put even the avocado oil on it. But what I'm going to put on it is actually a little bit of mayo before I put it in there to toast. Just a little hack to get it to be golden. Also just to give a little bit of richness there. So that is what we're going to do. So I'm going to get a serrated knife and cut these in half. These do not come pre-sliced. There we go. And actually, you know what? Because I'm going to leave this one plain because I don't know what time I'm going to wait and do Hubs when he gets home. So I'm going to keep that one plain. Because I can do it that one fresh from then. Okay. So then I'm just going to put, there we go, some mayo. Ah! You can tell I'm getting low on my mayo. I'm just going to use this little fork that I used for the kimchi to help spread my mayo. And then I'm just going to put this in my air fryer. I've already started preheating it just for 2 minutes. It goes pretty quick. And I think it's like 2 minutes at 400. And you want to check it. Just check your air fryer because you don't want it to get burned. So I'm going to put this in and get these ready. Oopsie. And I had left something in there, which is a no-no, and you don't want to do. Let me show you this little ditty. I left one of these liners in, and look what happened. This is why you don't leave liners in. We had dinner the other night and left the liner in, so that is a no-no. And you can see what happens. It goes up to the element, and then it'll literally start burning it. So that would be a fire hazard, as Hubs would say. So you don't want to do that. Don't do what Philly did there. All right, so we've got all of our ducks in a row. I think what I'm just going to do is while everything is cooking, I'm just going to tidy. I'm going to flip these one more time. Again, they're just on low heat. Oh, they look nice. They're getting very close. So again, it's going to be about 2 minutes, and about 6 minutes. If they're cooking under there, just keep an eye, and you could always, like I said, you could always put your thermometer in to make sure everything's cooked. So let me just tidy up, put this stuff away, read the chat, and we will put these together and talk about a quick weeknight meal. And oh my goodness, so yummy. Something different than the regular burgers or the regular turkey burgers even. I think that's the only other thing that goes in. And the smell is so good. The soy and the ginger and everything, it just smells divine. So let's get this stuff put away. Actually, I think we're going to use the sesame seeds. I think we're going to use that as some garnish. I'm going to leave this out so I don't forget to order some since I am out. And we can put our mallet away. I don't need to bang anyone except for I can maybe sit there and ask for your all attention, right? So Pat was talking about, let's see, yes, I heard, absolutely, Archie. Just the cornice left to fit on top of the cupboards. I'm so glad. Try owning a French person. Oh my goodness. My nephew is fitting my kitchen, so I'm back of the queue for bus services. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I find cleaning a griddle pan to be tedious. That is true. I will say this griddle pan I got a while back, and it is nonstick, and I found it exceedingly easy to clean. So if I had a griddle pan that was just, the iron, I'm trying to think, like cast iron, that probably would be more, and you'd want to get it seasoned. But this one has done beautifully. I'm going to turn off my heat there now. These look really nice. Oh my gosh. So good. Whoopsie. That would have been fun. And put the, There we go. And I told you not to forget, and here I almost forgot about my buns there. Okay, so let's get this out. Let's get this showing the road and stack this up. So here's the buns. Nice and toasted. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put lettuce on the bottom. Actually, you know what? I love that samjang. I'm going to put some samjang on the bottom. I'm going to put bottom and top because I thought this was absolutely fabulous. So delicious. And again, not spicy, just flavorful. So I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to suggest putting it on the bottom and the top because it's so good. So good. I'm going to put some lettuce. It's got these nice little lettuce. Then we're going to put our burger. Oh, gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. Move this over. I'm going to take this off so this guy can settle and not overcook. Okay. Yum, yum. Then I'm going to put on some kimchi, and I just used my thing. I'm going to use my knife to get some kimchi on there. There we go. Nice. And I'm going to put on some jalapeno slices. Lovely. And some green onions that are falling off, but that's okay. And a little bit of sesame. Wow. Okay. Let me show you that. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So let's take it to where it is a little bit brighter so you can see it even better. Let me see. There. No, let's try it down here. I always feel like the floor is a much better background. So there's our burger. Like, look how gorgeous that is. Oh my goodness. I am so excited for these flavors. Let's get that top on so you can see. I mean, look. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So good. Not too shabby. Okay, let's go eat. Let's try it. Hubs does not know what he's missing. I mean, he does know, but he will get it when he gets home. All right, let's try it. I'm going to cut mine in half because I can. And honestly, I know this probably goes against some people's rules. I like cutting a burger in half because I find it is so difficult to eat it if it isn't. So that's how I roll. But you can certainly dive right in without cutting in half if you don't. Oh, look at this. Let me just show you. This side's going to fall. Okay, I'm going to have to use the other side because this side's going to fall. Let me show you how perfectly... Oh, they're both falling. Okay. All right, so I'm going to move this. Let me show you how perfectly cooked this is. Let me show you. See that? And it's juicy. Like, it is cooked through, but it is not dry. And I am just losing it. Okay. All right, let's try this. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is so good. Y'all gotta have this. There's so much flavor. Even with my jalapenos on. Now, sometimes jalapenos can be really spicy. This one isn't terrible. There is some heat because of that, but it is so good, so juicy, so flavorful, so not like your typical burger. And I think this would be good with beef, pork, chicken, but turkey's what I had was on sale. You can see it's falling apart. Mmm. Friends, you know, I like to make lots of different kinds of burgers. That's kind of my thing. And because I'm in the city, and because I have to use a grill pan like that, I don't tend to do beef. I get beef out, but I don't do it here because it makes my smoke alarms go off. But when I cook poultry, it's fine. It doesn't mean it smokes a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I love the banh mi burger. That's one of my favorite ones we make. And I also love the Greek turkey burger. Another favorite I make. There's so many favorites that I make that we do on the rotation. This one was out of this world. You got to try it. It is so delicious. There might be a couple ingredients that are a little hard to find. If you can find samjang, it'll just make it easier. But I don't know, this was really easy to make this homemade. And we even used pecans. We didn't even use walnuts. And how tasty is this dipping sauce? I would just eat it with veggies. It is divine. You got to try it. If you do, let me know what you think. Yeah, I love these burger fusion combos. I think they're a great way to make some foods from different cultures, different areas, more approachable in the home, burger style. So I hope, by the way, Archie, Pat, Barb, I love your chat. I'm going to have to, I know. Archie's like, I cut it in half. I know. It is fabulous. Even cut in half, it's fabulous. I'm going to finish this up. You all have a great week. And next week when I do my stream, my next stream is a pasta dish. And I'm going to be using gochujang, which is what we were just talking about, and using that to make a classic pasta. I think it's gochujang. Is it gochujang or harissa? Oh my gosh, I think I've lost my mind. Let me go check, because now I have to look. Any of you follow me, this happens all the time. I'm always like, which way's up, which way's down? Here we go. No, it isn't. It isn't gochujang. It's I always never forget how to say it. Nuja, or is it Duja? N-D-U-J-A, Nuja. Making Nuja carbonara. So that I'm using, again, a different ingredient from another cuisine to kind of do a fusion with a carbonara. So enough of this craziness. Barb, Pat, Archie, and anyone else watching, sending love here from Philly. And hit the like button. And until we eat again, bye friends.